Hey guys, Carter and Jeff here at the range today. We're going to talk to you about a course that we just recently attended. For years, we've been wanting to attend Tom Givens' Rangemaster Shotgun Instructor course, and we finally got to do that a couple of weekends ago down in Lakeland, Florida, just outside of Tampa, I believe. Isn't that where it's at?
It's about an hour.
Yeah, we go so many places and train so much all over the country, I forget where we're going sometimes. Texas, Tennessee, Florida, West Virginia, Utah. So we go a lot of places and do a lot of training, something we both really enjoy doing. So this class we got to go to, like I said, we've been looking to go to it for a long time. Anything that Tom Givens and Rangemaster puts on, we try to be a part of. It's a program we believe wholeheartedly in. We consider Tom a mentor. We consider Akil Kadir, one of his staff members, a close friend and a mentor. So anytime they're putting something on, we're looking forward to getting involved in that. And we do a lot of shotgun work here at Patriot Training Center. We like shotguns. And that was a really good class for us to get to. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, what we liked about it, what we learned, some of the things we're looking forward to as we finish up. We're going to West Virginia in a couple of weeks, or a few days actually, to finish up the advanced portion of this course. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to let Carter kick this off. What did you like about the class?
You know, it's always the same thing when I go to a Tom Givens class. You have all of these instructors out here that try and teach you literally everything that they know about guns. One of the things that I respect about Rangemaster and Tom as an instructor is he breaks everything down into context and gives you what you need to know in the context that you're using the firearm. Like for instance, with his pistol classes, he talks a lot about, we work on a lot of skills that just aren't relevant for self-defense. So he breaks that down and we work on self-defense oriented skills. That was no different with the shotgun. The context of the shotgun as a civilian is really a home defense tool. And so we looked at it through that lens. And there's a lot of more complicated things that you can do with a shotgun that just really aren't that relevant for the home defense context. And one of the things that I really liked about that is he cut through all the noise there and kind of helped me figure out that maybe some of the stuff that I'm teaching is not as well spent as it could be, getting people more proficient in the basic skills.
Well said. And I agree with every bit of that, and I'll add to it a little bit. I agree with Carter 100%. What Tom teaches us to do is to cut through the things we don't need and focus on those things that we do need, like he just said. And what I love about his approach is, and I learned this the first time I took one of his classes, is he said something that stood out to me and still stands out to me. As a matter of fact, I modeled my teaching after it. He said, if I was your golf coach and I did a poor job, you would not be very good at golf. However, as a gun coach, I don't have the ability to sugarcoat things. I've got to get you where you need to be in some form or fashion. And that's exactly what Carter's talking about and exactly how Tom teaches. And we try to model the way we teach after that a great deal because it is important, because we are enthusiasts. This is our livelihood. We live, eat, breathe, and sleep firearms, self-defense, and tactical training and things like that. But what we've really got to do is remember sometimes we've got to get what we need to these students and transfer that knowledge. And Tom is brilliant at that. Yeah. And that whole Rangemaster crew is brilliant with that. So yeah, that's always a great aspect of it. But I tell you what I like and what I always enjoy about going to his classes, and I know Carter feels the same way because we've talked about it, is that he's going to push you and he's going to check you regardless of who you are, how good you are, how low skilled you are. It does not matter. And I got home and my wife, every time I get home from a Rangemaster class, well, did you get in trouble? Well, of course I did, because I'm not perfect, right? And that's what I love about it. I get coached when I go to a class that Tom is teaching or Akil is teaching or John or any of the guys at Rangemaster. They're going to push you and they're going to make sure you know what you're doing, most importantly, why you're doing what you're doing. So just a little example I'll give from class. We were in a drill and I had the gun up and I did something with my dominant hand that I should have done with my support hand.
It was an
administrative task, which I know that. I teach that, right? But I'm woefully human, so I make mistakes frequently. And I did that, whatever it was, I don't remember, but of course Tom sees everything. And he
He's
comes over.
probably on the other side of the range.
Yeah, he may have even been in Tampa, but still saw it. And he comes over and he just, over my shoulder, is that the way you're supposed to do that? No, sir. How are you supposed to do it? I say so. And he says, we'll do it. Yes, sir. But that, you know, it's not just telling you did something wrong. It's making sure that you understood why you did it wrong and how you're supposed to do it the correct way. And again, regardless of who you are, what your skill level is, he's gonna push you to be the very best you can be, because he genuinely cares, much like we do about our students. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy, and I know Carter does as well about going to one of the Rangemaster courses. So it was a very good class as far as learning new things, and maybe even in a different perspective or a different light. A lot of talk about ammunition, which I thought I knew a little bit about ammunition. And I learned a great deal about ammunition, especially when it comes to the shotgun and selecting payloads and things like that. So just a really great class overall.
Yeah, another thing I thought was interesting is some of the old arguments against shotguns. He kind of myth busted a lot of the old arguments as far as like, is a shotgun really the most effective tool? You know, for example, that buckshot can't shoot through cars. And it's like, well, yeah, that information was based on old loads of buckshot, you know, the old 9 pellet with no ammunition technology advances, whereas the new stuff, there's a certain level of that it can withhold. And so I think that kind of stuff, just things you don't really think about, but it's always good to know. There's just a ton of those little lessons in there that you get from someone who's been doing it for 50 years.
So we love this class. We got a great deal from it, so much we're going back this weekend to take the advanced version of the Rangemaster shotgun instructor training, and it'll be far from our last, because what I've learned over the years with training, and I've done a lot of it. I started out years ago going to basic pistol courses, which has grown into Carter and I and my wife Snooki and all of us here at PTC traveling all over the country to train whenever we can. Is that what I've learned is, you know, a river didn't start out as a river. It started out with one single drop. And over time, those drops kept carving and carving and carving until eventually it turned into a river that dumps into the ocean and is a massive force of nature. And what we do when we train, we're gathering those drops, and we've got a bucket with us. And every time we go to training, we're filling up that bucket a little bit more. But every time we train, we find holes in that bucket. And we got to patch those holes, and we got to make it right so we can continue to fill that bucket. And we're never going to fill it up, ever. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue to try and work to fill that bucket up as much as we can. So don't make the mistake I did and other people did when I first started, and one class is all I need. I'm good now. No, there's so much more out there to learn. And it's
not a box you're checking.
Yeah, it's not a box we're checking. It's a continual progression. We still believe that we're on the beginning of the journey. The journey never ends. It's just a path towards proficiency that we can never get to, but we're going to spend the rest of our lives trying to achieve. So that's why we train. That's why we continue to train. And at the end of the day, not only does that make us better defenders for our families, but it makes us better trainers. And that's what we're here to do. And that's what it matters to us, and why we continue to do that.
So we're never going to stop training. We're never going to stop getting better at instructing. We think that you should keep training. Come out here to Patriot Training Center for our next shotgun class, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.